Your case is going way back. And not only is it going way back, but you know, from the 1970s, but also it involves the police, you know, actions against the police, actions against the NHS, actions against the mental health services, action against the education department, action against the social services, action against the you know, all others that have been HMP prison services. So basically I need hundreds of thousands of pounds. So going back to the story of Tyrone, I stayed in his house, and I started to like him after that. He told me the story about his family history and shared those precious photos. On one of the photos was the picture of his white foster mother, his middle-class white foster mother. And she looked familiar, but I never really clocked. So now I wrote to Tayo, I think from last year or 2020. And I was asking Tayo, no, last year, I think, yeah, it was from last year. I contacted Tayo on Facebook, and I pulled up his page with his picture on it. And I said to him on the Facebook, I left a message saying, can you please tell me the woman that you showed me, the white woman who's your foster mother that brought you up, that you grew up with as a child from a very young age. You showed me a picture of her when I met you. You and all your siblings were in the kitchen with her. That must have been in the 1970s. At home with her. And I think your mum, your real mum, was in one of the pictures as well, because she'd come to visit you, you and your siblings. I said to him in the Facebook last year, please tell me if that white woman, your white foster mother, is the same woman as the white woman professional who I had, who she attacked me basically in Sutton when I was heavily pregnant with my son, my third child, in Sutton in 1997. Because in hindsight, I haven't got the photograph to hand from Tayo, and I haven't seen that woman since September 1999. That was the last time I saw her, when she turned up at my family, my family proceedings trial, my children proceedings, care proceedings trial in September 1999. That was the last time I saw her, when she threatened me, and she turned up as my representative when I'd cancelled all. I'd never employed her. I'd never enlisted her as my solicitor. And she just turned up. And the solicitors who were supposed to represent me, I actually discontinued them and wrote to the legal supervisory of solicitors, which was based in Leamington Spa at the time, to discontinue those solicitors, cancel them. And my reasons why. And she just turned up. She said she'd been sent by those very same solicitors. And she told me that there's nothing you can do. And she said, don't kid yourself. You're not going to win this case anyway. And she was my representative. And that's the first thing she told me when she came in. And I recognized her from, I was pregnant in 1997. And she attacked me in Sutton. She attacked me. And yeah, I asked her, was that your foster mother who attacked me when I was pregnant in 1997? So basically, I've never had the answer from Tayo. And I'll be very honest with you. He basically was sent to come into my life, basically. And he wanted to try hurt me, deliberately hurt me, and cause me a lot of anguish and pain. But it didn't happen that way. Because even though Tayo did grow on me, he was very arrogant, and to be honest with you, I wasn't really that into him. I mean, he was all right looking. I found him quite attractive at the time, but I'll be very honest with everybody. He wasn't really Mr. Fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. He wasn't really, wow. But and I'm not talking about in terms of looks. I'm talking about his personality, his his behavior, his character. He wasn't really. I don't really honestly fall for so much for men who are quite abusive. I liked him because he showed me a very sensitive side and a very compassionate, caring side. But so I let down my guard, and he sort of like grew on me. I sort of like saw him differently, and I got to like him as the nice guy. But once he turned, the Mr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, I really wasn't that. I'm just that type of person. Once somebody becomes really nasty, I tend not to really be that bothered, because it's not that I'm not human and I don't have feelings. It's just that he wasn't really benefiting. He wasn't really not benefiting. He wasn't really how do I put it? He wasn't really inputting anything into my life that I could say that was positive. So therefore, if a man is not inputting anything positive or substantial or in your life, basically you won't miss them. You're not missing anything. If they're not there, you won't miss them, because they're not benefiting anything in your life. I mean, if all that was between me and Tayo really was fuck, it was just fuck. That was all. So it wasn't as if I was old. At the time I met Tayo, I was only the same age as my oldest daughter is now. I was about 31 years old. So if a relationship is just based on fuck, there's no fuck out there. You can get a good man, that respects you and enjoy the fuck same way. So people say, "Oh, I wasn't in love with Tayo," and I'm still not. I really liked him a lot and respected him. And I'm a romantic type of person anyway, because I'm a Libra woman. I'm born in September the 26th. But and I am of the 26th, so I'm just 3 days out from Virgo. And Virgo represents the Virgin, the woman, which is really a symbol of feminism. And the symbol of feminism means that I have like innate tendencies to submit to the male, the male, a male man, basically, in a relationship. So it's just natural in me. So there was nothing fantastic about Tayo. That's just how I am in any relationship with any man that I really like and cherish. That's how I am. I just submit in that sense, the feminine energy, the more the Virgo side of the Libra. Because like I said, I'm born the 26th of September. I'm only 3 days out from Virgo. And Virgo sign, the Virgo sign is the Virgin. That means of the feminine, to submit to the male energy, to the male, divine energy. So the other side of me, because I'm Libra, I'm in the middle of Virgo and Scorpio, but I'm more on the Virgo end. But I do have a more Virgo side of Libra. But the balance, the scales can be tipped if you really push me, and I've tolerated after a prolonged time of bullshit, exploitation, abuse, constant, the scales can tip on the side of the Scorpio, which, can be quite opposite of the Virgo, shall we say. So, but yeah, I don't really stay on the Scorpio side too long because I've born right at this end of the beginning of Libra and the end of Virgo. So even though my scales can tip and I can snap, I don't stay at that Scorpio end very long. It's really, my temper's very short-lived, and my sort of like more serious side doesn't really stay there very long. But it can fluctuate if the energies are not right, the balance is not right in my life, basically. But yeah, so what I wanted to say now, Tayo says is in contact with my son. Apparently, I've not really seen my son for 22 years, since he was 18 months old. And the authorities are using all these different channels to deviate from the truth, basically. I mean, don't be pretending Tayo, Huey, Carlos, every man in my life, Devon, this one, that one, the Moxon. Why are they always deviating? They're going from this man to that. It depends. Whoever any men that seem to be in my life, the authorities turn their attentions to creating drama and empowering these men to attack the woman, to attack me. So basically, the motive, the government motive, is for me to get mad, yeah, and then lash back. And then they jump and say, yeah, Enoch Powell was right. The black men are rapists, black men are this, and the black community and the Haitian and the Muslim and everybody fighting, everybody there, blah, 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 blah. That's why I don't like to get involved. And they keep forcing this issue on me and lying, saying, oh, shit, all kind of bullshit. That's why I said at the beginning of this video, which lie was my son referring to, my son Mityrae, because people have been telling so much lies that when he says to me, oh, Tayo doesn't want me to have contact with my daughter, my youngest daughter, that I have to Tayo because of what I supposedly did to him. Now, Mityrae, I've done nothing to Tayo in my life. I've told you already. Now, you don't want to believe me. And what surprises me, you young people are going to university and you're getting degrees and masters and you're acting as dumb as fuck. What the fuck are you learning in there? Doesn't your common senses tell you that you need to get in contact with your mom and say, Mom, we need to go and sit down somewhere and meet, whether it be out in the park on the bench or in a coffee shop, and sit down and talk. And then you get the answers and you say, Mummy, what happened? Why was I put in care? What is your take on it? What's your side? What's your perspective? Your common sense hasn't even told you that. You're just assuming what everybody else is telling you, and you're taking on the brainwashing and the disillusions. I mean, whatever they're showing you, I have no idea. I don't even know if they're showing you video clips, pictures, but you're obviously not so smart. And maybe because you're quite young, you're only 24, Mityrae. You're only 24 anyway, so you really don't know how the world of politics and what's going on here. And because what we're really dealing with is direct and institutional racism. And politics is institutionally racist. Politics is direct racism. And it always has been that way as long as we Black people have been in the diaspora. So, and even out of it affects Black people in Africa, Black people in Caribbean, direct and institutional racism from the Western governments. So I'm really surprised that you young people, they're saying in the, it's been documented that more and more Black children have been given the opportunity to be included in university, and more and more seem to be achieving higher grades, such as degrees and masters. What is the point? Because I think definitely there's something wrong with the education system. I definitely agree with individuals, people like Dr. Umar Johnson. Quite clearly, there's something wrong, most definitely, because I've had my own experience in the 70s and the 80s with the educational system as a Black female child. So quite clearly, the problems are still there because they're making it easier somehow for you to achieve degrees and masters. And I know you're very intelligent, but you're not actually you're not learning the right thing. There's something they're doing wrong there, because you're coming out dumb as fuck, all you young people. You're really achieving these degrees, and some of you're fucking thick as two planks of wood. I'm not even gonna lie, you're thick. Your common sense, Mityrae, does not. How dare you? When I was talking to you outside Simone's house the other week, you said, "Oh, Mum, keep your voice down. Just keep," and you're shushing me like this. Shush, keep your voice down. I don't want you disturbing the neighbors. Oh my God! Do you know in Africa culture and Caribbean culture, and even Asian, and assuming even Chinese culture and other cultures, you can never shush your mother. Do you hear me, my son? You shush me with your hand. Shush, you're disturbing the neighbors. Keep your voice down. That's how you spoke to me. Do you know that is actually abomination? But and you might say, oh well, so it's the way I present. I presented myself in the utmost respect to you, my son, because you're my king. So I spoke to you very respectfully, and I think I only slipped one swear word by accident or during the conversation about the authorities and the police or whatever I was, or Tayo or something. But even so, I still maintained a high level of respect for you and regard, and you shushed me when I was talking in general, and I wasn't shouting. How dare you shush me with your hand? Shush, keep your voice down. You're disturbing the neighbors. I don't want the neighbors to get upset. Number one, you haven't seen that day your mother, you came from my stomach. You came from my womb. And you shush me with your mouth. And you're more concerned about the fucking neighbors than the fact that you haven't seen your birth mother for fucking 22 years. How fucking dare you shush me? I went home and I thought about it, and I really had to calm down because I didn't like it at the time when you flash your hand in my face. Shush. You can never do that. I could never shush my mother. Where does she raise her voice? Where does she lose her temper? Simone, your sister, my second daughter, she's got an auntie. Her dad's got a sister called Marva, Simone's auntie. Marva lives in Lewisham, Marva Fraser. And often, right through Marva's childhood, Her mom used to abuse us, cuss, her in the fucking blood clot, rasclat, and cuss all kind of blood clot, rasclat, and cuss. Even when Marva was a big woman, left home, earning her own money, paying her own tax, paying her own bills, had her own grown-up child, her mother would be cussing and shouting if she had contact with her mum. Because sometimes her mum would come up occasionally and spend from Yorkshire and come to Lewisham by Marva's and spend a few days. And her mum would raise her voice and cuss for no reason and shout and swear. Marva never one time in her blood clot life raised her hand to her mother to shush her mother. To shush her mother mouth. To shush her mother and say, shush, you're making too much noise. Shut up. Keep your voice down. You're disturbing the neighbors. Never, you can never do that. You don't even know your own culture. You're clueless. That is not Caribbean culture. That is not African culture. That is not Asian culture. That is not Chinese culture. You can never shush your mother, even if she does raise her voice, even if she does swear. You can never. It's an abomination to raise your hand to your mother, to shush your mother when she's talking to you. Especially if she's showing you respect and you raise your hand, shush, keep your voice down. I don't like you raising your voice and disturbing the neighbors. Hey, my goodness. So clearly, I haven't seen you for 22 years. You're only 24. You was 18 months old when they took you away from me. I haven't seen you. I've had no contact with you, no communication with you. So quite clearly, the authorities have done something very wrong. The authorities are very, very liable to me because you are meeting you for the first time after 22 years. And the first thing you do, shush, with your hand in my face. Shush, keep your voice down. You're disturbing the neighbors. Hey, are you serious? Mityrae, Anthony Francis, Breckenridge, Brooks. Are you really serious that you could be prime minister? You could be a prime minister. You can be a king, an emperor. In black people, Asian people, whatever culture, you can never raise your hand to your mother to shush her with your hand to shush and tell your mom, shush, keep your voice down. You can, even if you were a king, a prime minister, a president, you can never do that to your mother. Do you not know that? That is abomination. Anyway, I'm going to rest the video here because Mityrae, that really hurt me. You need to apologize. I still love you. I love you. You're my life. All my children, Mityrae, you're my life. You're my breath. I never stop think about you, dream about you for all the years of your life. Yeah? And when you were first taken away from me, I couldn't sleep, eat, drink, piss. I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't even shit. I couldn't do nothing. You know? And to think that I finally saw you and you shush, keep your mouth. Hey, my own son. Hey, you're talking to your mother like that. Oh my God. And then when I'm talking to you, there's no eye contact with me. Your eye is looking here. Your eye is wandering here. Hey, my God, do you not know how to show respect to your elders? Especially that of which you came. Especially that of which you came. Not even to talk about the lies you've been hearing about me or the lies you've been seeing about me. You haven't spoken to me about it anyway. But even regardless of the lying, the dirty lying, you must always maintain respect and manners to your mother, to your father. Do you not know that? So this video is really about you. This is the first part. Like I said, it's early hours of the morning and everybody's trying to sleep. So I'm in a new place. I need you to think about that, Mityrae. You know, oh my God, you're just my everything. You're just my life. All my children are my life. And for you to just put aside the lies and the false rubbish about me. You haven't heard my story. You haven't heard the story involving your granddad and on what and your grandma, and you haven't heard anything. Forget it for now. Just for the minute. I want to focus on hear what you hear. Your mother could be in the gutter. Your mother could be lying down on the floor. Yeah? With a heroin needle stuck in her arm. Yeah? Down and out. And you could be a king, a prime minister, a president. How can I explain? You must always show humble, and you must always show, I think it's piety, the spirit of God. That means when, no care how high you are, no care what salary you make, no care how wealthy you are, how appointed you are, yeah? When it comes to your mother, remember where you came. Remember where you came. I think you learned in school, biology. Remember from whence you came. You must always show humble to your mother and your father. No care how high you think you are, no care what education you have, no care what degree or masters you have, your mother could be lying down on the floor in the gutter with a heroin needle stuck in her arm. That is still your mother. And a man, a gentleman, a true gentleman with the true spirit of God will always show humble and piety and respect that of which he came. So, like I said, I don't mean to keep repeating myself. Mityrae, Anthony Francis, Breckenridge, Brooks. You must, I don't know where the training has come from, but obviously I blame the authorities because I haven't seen you since you was a baby, and this is what's presented to me. I'm teaching you. This is in every single culture and race and creed and religion around the world. Don't matter how high you are, you could be the emperor, the prime minister, the president, and your mother could be on the floor, sleeping rough on the floor, homeless, with a heroin needle stuck in her arm. You must always show respect to where you came, your mother. And you must always show humble and piety. You must learn to keep eye contact because it's showing respect. You don't wander around your eyes all over the place when your mother is talking to you. Your eyes are wandering as if to say, oh, can you fuck off now? I'm bored. You're really pissing me off. I want to go and watch TV. You don't have that. You put your shoulders up. You stand straight. You don't wander your high and roll your shoulder when you're talking to your mother and your father. Have you not had no grounding? Have you not had no teaching? My God, I'm going to leave it here for now. Yeah? I'm going to do a series of parts. You know, I'm a bit tired now, and yeah. I love you, Mityrae. You're my world. I love you, Shana. I love you, Simone. I love you, Iwalewa. I love you, Olajuwon. Bye for now. I'll do another series maybe tomorrow or when the battery is fully charged. I'll do part 2.